Hello everyone, welcome back to some more Terra Mystica. This is the fourth game in my series on the Terra Mystica Tournament Season 37. Also the fourth faction selection video, since the format is we do the 4 faction selection videos, then I play all the games, then we review all the games. And I was in for a surprise when I loaded this one up. I've never seen a green A before. Orin are generally regarded as quite bad. I believe Fakirs are generally considered worse. But I think that they're in second place. I don't know how they compete with like the Giants, who are also considered usually bad. So, you know, the Orin are in that tier, but I don't know if they're better or worse than the Giants. I'm pretty sure they're worse than the Fakirs, but I don't know by how much. But every bad faction has some strong circumstances. Some circumstances where it's good, perhaps. So I wonder, you know, are Orin good here? Almost every Orin game starts with a stronghold turn 1. Round 1, I mean. And there is stronghold scoring here. So that's a point in their favor. Right, Orin, they're the only faction, I believe, with no special ability aside from their stronghold ability. Right? Every other faction has like a stronghold ability and also something else special about them. Like, I'm double checking their player board now, which I'm not actually. Can I? I'm not going to try to get that on camera. But yeah, they have exactly the same standard player board. No special prices for buildings or payouts for buildings. They just have a stronghold as their only special feature. And their special feature for strongholds is, first of all, you get a favor tile for building one as though it were a temple or a sanctuary. And second, every turn, you get an action which you can use once per round to get 2 steps in a cult of your choice. So they're very good at dominating the cults. Probably similarly good to the cultists, I think. The cultists would often gain 2 steps on a cult track most rounds, I bet. Because you tend to build twice, at least, and people tend to accept power when you offer it to them. But no guarantees there. Anyway, so Orin. And this player is not like a joker, as far as I can tell. Hans Karl has played in the tournament a number of times. And does okay. And has only picked Orin once in however many, in 54 games, right? And, by the way, won the game. Wow. Huh. So, I don't know. There's something to be taken seriously here, perhaps. Would not have been my choice, obviously. And, you know, pretty reasonable rating, too. Huh. You know, for a Division 6 player. I'm aware that this is not a great, you know, Division 1 rating, but that's no surprise. We're not in Division 1. Very curious. So I'm interested to see how that plays out. But the question now is, what do I pick? Oh, right. And also in like the other games this season, Hans Karl has chosen engineers, and darklings. So I'm really interested to see how this turn 1 or seat 1, I guess, Orin pick plays out for Hans Karl. Now, what about this game? The really noteworthy feature in these bonus tiles is there are no workers at all. All 3 of the bonus tiles, which give you workers, are gone, and everything else is present. Right, so that's sanctuary scoring, trading post scoring, and 1 worker, 3 power, all gone. So, furthermore, that means, of course, all the coin bonuses are here. Since there are no like coins and worker tiles. So this might be a situation in which you would enjoy a faction which is good at producing workers. And so one of the ones I would consider here, in fact, would be witches, right? They're generally okay at that because they're of where the witches don't have a faction ability that gives them more workers. There's green tiles that are pretty close to each other, so it's not too hard to build dwellings on them. But of course, that's not an option now that Orans have been chosen. And so perhaps Orans will do a similar thing, but I assume you have to start with a stronghold first, and that slows down your workers quite a bit. I guess the favorite tile you would take would probably be Earth 1, but maybe Earth 2 since workers are so scarce, right? Also of note in this game, no cult bonuses include digs. Right? Right. So the only source of digging in the game is this bonus tile, and of course the power actions, and whatever is always in games. But the only variable digging is here. So it's sort of a game in which it's a little hard to dig, and that's a good reason, perhaps, to choose Darklings. Not that you need a reason. I feel kind of bad about picking Darklings 3 games in a row, so 3 games out of 4, I should say. But also pleased to be given that option. So I would like to see if there's something else I should be doing. Mermaids, in fact, seem, I think, reasonably suitable. I would not be surprised to see mermaids picked in a bit. In particular, the bonus tile landscape is very good for mermaids. It has all the coins and none of the workers, and it also has the dwelling scoring. And mermaids are pretty good at putting down dwellings, so they need coins, they get workers, and they like to score dwellings, and they get all the shipping scoring as well. The problem, I think, is that the bonus tile setup is not... Sorry, the round tile setup is not that good for mermaids, I think. If you could, move this one up to round 1, and, I don't know, get a trading post round in here somewhere, instead of, because mermaids don't like to build their stronghold, usually. So them, first spreading to 1 million dwellings, then, then putting down a few trading posts, then finishing up some towns, that would be pretty nice for them. I don't know if they'd be worth picking over Darklings, but they would certainly be pretty good. Cultists, I think, are not a good choice here. First of all, there's the Sanctuary Stronghold scoring twice, which they just don't really like. But more importantly, Orin are in the game. And that's just... You don't want the two of them fighting on the one thing they're both good at, right? It's better if they can be the only culty faction around. So, I don't know. You would probably beat the Orin because cultists are generally a much stronger faction than Orin. Again, maybe there's something in the setup that Hans Karl has seen that makes Orin top-notch. So maybe in this case you would lose. But in general, you would expect to beat them. But you would also expect in general to get a lower score just because they're in the game, and therefore have trouble beating the other factions. Swarmlings are kind of cute because the stronghold early, but there's no trading post scoring, so probably not. And mermaids look better anyway. Alchemists, awful. Just no good at all here. If you were going black, you'd want Darklings. Halflings, not very good. You don't want these. The spade comes a little early. You'd rather it be in round 4. Fakirs, like I said, I'm just not a good enough player to even consider playing them. Nomads? There's, again, this looks kind of a lot like my other Nomads game. There's like the early stronghold scoring, and a lot of coins and not that many workers. That's something Nomads are good at, just like Mermaids. So I would not be surprised to see them be picked here. Dwarves look not very good. Engineers, not very good. So, I don't know. I guess if I had to pick 3 more factions that I expect to be in the game, it would be Mermaids, Darklings, and Nomads. I didn't even look at red. Whoops. There is the Sanctuary scoring early, which is nice for the Chaos Magicians. It's a little bit tough to build it on round 1 because of the there's no +2 worker and Sanctuary Stronghold scoring tile. They could certainly do it by round 2. But I don't really see anything else here that screams Chaos Magicians to me. Well, okay, shipping. They like shipping. So, to me, this looks like a Darklings game, just because like they're generally good, and the other 2 factions that seem playable to me don't seem outstanding. We get the early Sanctuary, assuming we can place it in round 2. The question is, can you actually do that? It's a bit harder without any workers in the setup, right? But there are workers here. So if you, for example, put your first priest into the air cult, that gets you a worker. If you somehow put 2 in there, either via the priest bonus tile or the priest action, you could get another worker. You know, and taking a Earth 2 as your first favor tile also helps you get there. But it could be like an Air 2 kind of game, just to like get you the early cult bonus. And you wouldn't mind having some power, probably. I don't know. Darklings, because they're not usually concerned with Action 6, Darklings tend to burn down to a low amount of power, and so having 4 extra power income can be a bit of a burden. So I wouldn't be too excited about that, maybe. Yeah, and Earth 2 just is going to provide workers every turn, which is going to be really important when there's no bonus tiles with workers. So, I don't know. It seems like a Darkling player would want to start with Earth 2, just as in my other games. I think I'm planning to start with 2 in both of them. I don't totally remember for sure, but I think that was the idea. Yeah. I mean, I've spent a lot less time on the faction selection for this game than any of the others, but I'm basically in seat 1 here, being offered Darklings, and I don't see any reason to not pick them. I mean, could we... Yeah, we can't... You can't really use the planner until setup is finished. But, like, it's easy enough to visualize. Let's... Right? Because you need... Suppose that you build a temple in round 1. That's all your workers, and your income is 2 workers. And you've spent 8 of your 15 coins, means you have 7 left. So you have to somehow, for the next round, come up with 4 workers to get yourself a sanctuary. And also 3 coins. Well, you're getting 2 workers just from your basic income of a dwelling and being alive. So you need to find 2 more somewhere. You could get 1 if the favor you take is Earth 2. Or you could not do that and try to secure a power action that gives you 2 workers. Yeah, it is kind of hard to actually get the Sanctuary so early when there's no workers you can count on. But since you don't have any workers available to dig round 1 anyway, sending a priest to air is not bad. And then when you take Earth 2, that's the 2 workers you need, right? One from the air cult bonus and one from the Earth income favor tile. And then you just need to find 3 power to convert into coins in the worst case. You might, in fact, do better than that by turning 4 coins into 4 power into 7 coins, but all you need to get the Sanctuary in round 2, which is pretty important, is 3. And then, like, you might hope to take Earth 1, although it probably won't be there. You'll probably have to settle for Water 1. I don't know. Maybe this is one of those games where it's important to build Earth 1 first. Because, okay, the Earth Cult bonus is something kind of nice, but these 2 dwelling scoring rounds coming up right after well, they're not right after you finish your Sanctuary, but they're pretty soon. Like, digging dwellings is really an encouragement to build a lot of dwellings, and having them each be worth 2 extra points would be kind of nice, right? 6 instead of 4, basically. Well, I say 4 because you usually spend a priest, and that's worth 2, and you get 2 points here. But you might actually be getting even more than that because you're spending priests on spades, and then hopefully workers on dwellings. The question, I guess, is when are you getting your coins? Like, are you building trading posts? Probably not really. Like, up until this round, you're pretty busy. And then in this round, you could, but you already have a fair amount of coin income. And you want to hang on to workers to help you get all these dwellings ready, right? So I don't know. Maybe you could afford 1 trading post. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm just like a lame, boring player, but I'm just going to pick Darklings. I mean, there's a reason they're almost always first picked. And if not, then typically second picked. So it's going to be kind of a samey tournament season for me with 3 Darklings games. But that's a great indicator of likely success. And I think, I mean, I'm certain that if I have to, I can get a Sanctuary on round 2. With this and Earth 2 as my favorite tile. There might be a better way to do it. You know, I might, for example, choose to take Earth 1 and not send a worker or priest to air. If I can secure the 2 worker power action, maybe I might not do this. But the point is, I definitely can get the Sanctuary in round 2. I'm getting points for it, and that's like pretty great to the Darklings. So yeah, let's just save this. Oh, not save the plan, save our actual action. There you go. That's all my tournament games kicked off. Darklings 3 times, Nomads once. Should be interesting to see how it all goes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.